Assalamualaikum everyone, my name is Daniel Ashraf and I am the project manager for Movie and Communication 9. Beside me is my assistant project manager,
Amira Shahindah binti Yusri.
Today we will be presenting our project report presentation slides for this event, which was held on the 3rd of June 2026 at Bestari Hall Level 2.
The event was a movie screening and review activity by the Communication English 1 students where we screened the horror movie Us and had a movie review booth activity where we have all 30 registered participants give us their review regarding the event and the movie itself. So, let's begin.
As project manager and assistant project manager, our role was to look at the event as a whole and make sure every department stayed aligned. We coordinated the overall event direction, monitored department progress, connected communications between departments, followed up on tasks and confirmations, and we helped keep the event running smoothly on the actual day.
The department under us are protocol, F&B, multimedia, report, logistics, finance, and the participant itself. So our job was not to handle the operation directly, but it was to make sure that all of these departments under us knew what to do and what were their assigned tasks, and make sure to keep them aligned during the event and before the event. Now let's talk about our original plan versus reality. In terms of scope and target, our blueprint was to organize a movie screening with a communication-based activity targeting 30 participants, using a movie review booth for participants to share their thoughts after the film, and ensuring that each department under us completed their assigned roles.
In reality, the event was successfully carried out on 3rd of June 2026 at Bestari Hall, Level 2. 33 registered participants attended, with a few extra walk-in students joining the movie only. The movie review booth was completed after the screening. However, some tasks needed closer follow-up and clearer coordination between departments. The solutions were: we kept the event aligned with the original concept, we used registration to manage participant flow, we clarified instructions for the movie review booth, and lastly, project manager and assistant project manager followed up on updates and helped keep departments aligned.
Moving on to the timeline and schedule blueprint versus reality, our original plan was to start at 5 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. with the participant registration and food and beverages collection, followed by the opening speech and movie screening at 5:30 p.m. to 7:40 p.m. Then the Maghrib prayer break from 7:40 to 8:10. And finally, the review session, photography, closing remarks, and dismissed by 8:10 to 8:55 p.m.
In reality, the event started on time at 5 p.m. and followed the main tentative flow. Registration, refreshment collection, movie screening, and Maghrib break were carried out as planned. The photography session was conducted slightly earlier because Madam needed to leave early. Some participants did not return for the feedback session after the break. The event still ended around the planned time. In the solutions, we kept the main activities as priority and maintained the overall schedule. We adjusted the orders slightly by conducting the photography session earlier. We contacted the participants personally after the event. Those who missed the feedback session were asked to submit their review online to our Google Drive. This allowed the feedback activity to still be completed.
Every event has its red flags, and ours are no different. So, we identified 4 main variances. The first one is that some participants did not return after their Maghrib break, and so the movie review booth could not be fully completed on site. And our solution was that we contacted these participants personally via online after the event and asked them to submit their review online to our Google Drive. Second is that some students did not register beforehand, and so these walk-in participants were not included in the refreshment list, hence that they do not receive any beverages or popcorns. And our solution is that we prioritize refreshment for the registered participants while still allowing these walk-in students to enjoy the movie session.
Third, the photography session had to be moved earlier because the lecturer needed to leave early, which slightly changed the original flow. But we still kept the event close to the planned timeline. Fourth, some tasks required close follow-up between departments, and delays in updates could have affected the overall event flow. To address this, me and Amira followed up with each PIC and kept departments updated whenever details change. Overall, the red flags were manageable because the team stayed flexible, communicated quickly, and focused on completing the main event objectives.
Now we'd like to show you the hard evidence. These materials show how the event was prepared and monitored before the actual day. We use 4 main tools. The first one is the registration form/QR, which is used to manage the participant registration before the event. Second, we have the tentative schedule, which is prepared to guide the program flow and timing for all departments, including the participants.
Third, we use a master checklist in Excel format, which track all tasks, person in charge, deadlines, and department progress. This was something we monitored continuously leading up to the event. Fourth, we use community updates and WhatsApp messages for task follow-up to communicate changes and make sure departments were always updated. The planning evidence shows that project manager and assistant project manager use registration, scheduling, task tracking, and team updates to keep the event organized before execution.
Let's move on to the hard evidence for executions. These photos show how the event was carried out during the actual day. First, we have the participant to register and then collect the refreshments before the movie screening. Second, we have the actual movie screening of the horror movie Us that was conducted as the main activity. Third, after the Maghrib prayer break, the participant will have to engage with our movie review booth and share their thoughts through the review activity. And fourth, we concluded the event with a photography session and closing remarks.
Overall, the execution evidence shows that the event was successfully carried out, with participants joining the screening and completing the review activity. Everything we planned for came to life in that day. Now, for our critical reflection using the what, so what, and now what framework. What happened? Some participants did not return after the Maghrib break. A few unregistered students joined the movie session. The photography session was conducted earlier as planned. Project manager and assistant project manager had to follow up with departments throughout the event.
So, what does this mean? The movie review booth could not be fully completed on site. It shows us attendance can change unexpectedly during activities. And we learned that the actual flow can be shifted even when a tentative is already planned. Overall, we learned that leadership is not just about assigning tasks, but it is to ensure that everyone stays aligned throughout the process.
Now what? What can we do differently? Next time, we will make sure the review takes place before letting participants go. Next time, we will prepare a clearer walk-in policy and a small backup plan for seating or refreshments. We will consult with our lecturer beforehand to see if they were available for the timing. Lastly, we will use the master checklist earlier and set clearer follow-up times with each PIC.
Overall, this project truly taught us that a good event management needs a proper planning, flexibility, communication, and consistent follow-up. To conclude, the event was completed. The screening, the refreshment, review activity, and closing were all carried out successfully. Our main objective was achieved with participants watching the film, reflecting, sharing their thoughts through the review activity. And any changes that came up, the walk-ins, the early photography session, and our online review submission were all handled on the spot.
For our team evaluation, coordination was good. Departments completed their tasks with our follow-up. Communication improved as we got closer to execution day. With updates becoming clearer, time management can be improved. Next time, we want to make sure the review session happens before participants leave. Overall, the event was successful because the team stayed organized, adjusted when needed, and still completed the main purpose of this project.
And that brings us to the end of our presentation. from your assistant project manager and project manager. We just wanted to give everyone a big round of applause. Thank you to everyone, to Madam, and thank you for listening.